When you're editing in Photoshop, there's basically two different places to access the editing tools. The first place is up here under Image and Adjustments. You have all these different types of adjustments that I'll go over some of them. We won't go over all of them. The first two that we're going to start with are levels and curves. Alright, so that's the first place to access these adjustments. The other place is down here on this circle with the half black, half white. And when you go there, you can see basically it has all the same types of adjustments that we just saw under Image. So we're going to deal with levels and curves here. Now the difference between these two, there's a huge difference between accessing your adjustments down here at the bottom and accessing them up here at the top. I always, pretty much in this class, I always want you to access the adjustments from this bottom area. Don't go up here. The reason for that, let's say you make an adjustment here. It changes the picture and it doesn't add a layer, so that's permanently changing the picture. Alright? The reason I want you to access down here, if I do the same thing, is it adds a layer. So it's a non-destructive way to alter a picture. So you're not damaging, you're not changing the actual base picture, you're just adding a layer that changes the look of it. So up here is destructive to the image, meaning it makes permanent changes, and down here is non-destructive ways to alter an image. When I downloaded an image to my computer, usually the first thing I do as soon as I open it up into Photoshop is I tweak the contrast, because usually when you take a picture the contrast isn't as sharp, the darks isn't as dark, and the lights aren't as light as they should be. So adding a little contrast, bumping that up a little bit, makes a huge difference. Now there's two ways that you can do this. The first is levels, and the second is curves. So to access these two things, go down here to your circle with the half white, half black. Let's go to levels first. There's three tabs down here at the bottom. This one deals with the blacks. So when you drag this to the right, it makes the darks darker, the black areas blacker. When you drag this one to the left, it makes the lights lighter. And when you drag the middle, those are basically the middle tones, the medium tones, it makes the medium tones darker or lighter depending on where you turn them. So what I initially do is I always make the blacks a little bit blacker and then bring up the whites just a little bit. In this case it doesn't need it because the whites are pretty light as it is. You don't want to blow them out too much. Like if I go way up here, all of a sudden I start to lose some of my detail in my light areas. So I'm going to tone that back a bit because I don't want all this detail to be gone, but I do want to bump up the lights a little bit. So we went from here to there. And now for the middle tone, I might bump the middle tone up a little bit. So you can see what I did, went from here to here. Now it doesn't look like much of a difference, but adding that little bit of contrast does help a whole lot. And I can even go back, what I did is I double click this symbol right there on my layer. Double click that and I can go back and make more adjustments. So if I wanted to add even more contrast, I'm dragging the black tab to the right and then the white tab to the left. And now you can see there's more of a difference. So adding that little bit of contrast really helps boost the picture and makes it more interesting. So the levels adjustment layer is pretty easy and straightforward to use. The curves is slightly more difficult to understand, so I'm going to explain that in another tutorial.